Why don't people do what you ask? Why can't you get what you want at work? Do you find yourself often trying to figure out why you don't get the results that you expect or why people don't do what you ask? Do you feel like you have to chase down certain team members and colleagues for the simplest of things, constantly following up and trying to get answers from people? When you finally do get the answers or results or deliverables, do you find that you're underwhelmed? Maybe you see failure or you're disappointed in what you get from other people at work. We're not talking about this from a how do I get what I want my way kind of perspective. No, we're taking a look at leadership. And one of the common complaints that we hear from leaders and managers is that they're unable to get the results that they expected. So, we're going to dive into 5 ways that you can examine and investigate your own leadership to see if in any of these areas you might need to improve, adjust, or modify so that you can get the results that you want at work. So, in the next several episodes, we're going to dive into 5 areas that you can examine. Take a close look, really try to identify, are these areas where you are leading in your best way? Or can you potentially adjust, modify, adapt, try something new in order to see if you can change the outcome? The 5 areas that we're going to look at are expectations, communication, role clarity, time and priorities, and accountability. This week, we're going to dive into expectations. It kind of all starts with expectations and assumptions. We all carry a set of expectations and assumptions and tribal knowledge. And we often think that the way we do things is the way most other people will do it too. Have you ever noticed when you go to visit somebody at their house, they have a certain way of doing things, maybe how they adjust the lights or how they fix a drink? Little things that we are accustomed to because that's how we learn to do it or how we prefer to do it. They happen around us all the time. And the truth is that we do things the way we learned growing up, the way we were taught. Maybe at work, it's how we learned from others, what seems appropriate in that environment. Sometimes we add our own perspective or we change it up a little bit. But since it's unlikely that everybody on your team was raised in the same way, with the same expectations and the same assumptions, then you need to take the extra effort to really clarify positions. Make sure that we don't have to guess, that you aren't making assumptions about what they should know or what they believe, or whether what you think aligns with what they think. Instead, spell it out. Let me give you a simple example. There is this genius lady on Instagram who cleans Airbnbs for a living. And if she asked me to make a guest bed, I could do it. No problem. I'd pull the sheets and I'd tuck in the sides and it would look tidy. Most people would think it was acceptable. It would satisfy my standards for a made bed. But she is an expert, right? So she'd come and check my work and she'd think, what the heck was this lady thinking? She didn't tuck in the ends. She didn't put carefully rolled towels on the corner of the bed, things that this woman does to make a really standout differentiated level of service at her Airbnbs. And that's what I mean. It's the simplest things that we sometimes assume other people know how to do or know how to do the way we expect it to be done. And that's what we need to clarify. Let's take a look at another example. Why can billions of people drive safely most of the time all over the earth? Because there's a consistent set of standards. Billions of people drive globally because there are a consistent set of standards that have been well communicated. And before you could ever actually legally try driving, you had to observe it, study it, learn to do it under the guidance and correction of an instructor. You had to try it out with an experienced driver for a period of supervision and then take and pass a test. And all along the way, you've practiced and you're guided by a set of established signs and clues. You've observed others. You've gotten subtle correction, like honking horns, or overt corrections, like speeding tickets. You know what good looks like. You know what the expected behavior is, for example, when to stop or yield or proceed. And you know the pace required for the distance you've got to travel to reach the destination at the agreed upon time. All these things are standards set in place. You know what to expect. You know what good looks like. And that is what you need in your leadership at work. Don't assume that everyone knows what you mean. Don't assume they know what good is, or even assume that they've done this before and know how to do it, despite their job title and tenure. Ask, investigate, share your expectations, and gain buy in and understanding. Consider what you know. What are you bringing to the discussion that others need to be aware of? Are there pertinent facts, unknowns, risks, keys to success? What do you want the result to be? What does good actually look like? And have you shared that with the people who are actually going to participate in this? You'll also need to talk about how much time and involvement you expect from yourself and from them, and consider what kind of communication do you need? How frequently do you need to communicate? Speaking of communication, we're going to address that head on in the next episode. So join us again, where we're going to address key aspects of communication, gaining buy in, and more when it comes to helping you set expectations, avoid assumptions, and get what you want at work. Like and subscribe to this channel. Join us here every Friday for another mini but mighty leadership lesson. It's an easy place to learn more about awareness and leadership so you can level up. Being a boss means using your power for the good of yourself and those around you. Lead yourself, then lead others. Be a boss.